guess is, how has your process as an investor changed? Or how, you said that, you make fewer mistakes over time. What's something that, or a couple of things that you've actually found yourself making fewer mistakes of as you've matured as an investor also?
Well, I used to think that my investing style has changed dramatically. When I first started out, I had no idea what I was doing. I bought garbage. I bought penny stocks. That didn't work out. So then I switched immediately to high dividend yield stocks. That didn't work out. So I switched my process again and again. And every time I made a mistake, or every time I lost money, I was learning lessons along the way. I did get a couple of good investments in there. And then after connecting with a ton of other people, other smart investors, and just through reading and consuming as much content as I possibly could, my process slowly evolved over time. And lo and behold, my results got a heck of a lot better. But a few years ago, I had so many stocks that I was tracking and so much to keep track of. I just I wrote a board post on the Motley Fool, and I said, here are the characteristics that I find most appealing in an investment. I want a wide, an expanding economic moat or a competitive advantage. I want companies with organic growth potential, meaning they're not acquiring other businesses. They're growing through their own homegrown products or services. I want a high gross margin. I want a strong balance sheet. I want profits. I want free cash flow. I want optionality, or the company that has the ability to have multiple futures. I want companies that can raise prices, invested management teams, high levels of inside ownership, recurring revenue, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I just made a list of like 15 things that I said, yes, if a company has all of these things, I'm in. Like, I'm really interested. At the same time, I made another list that says, all right, what do I want to avoid? What if I see is like almost, it's not necessarily a thesis buster, but it's unattractive to me. Number one, no moat. You don't have a competitive advantage. I don't care how great you are. I'm not interested. Just period. To me, a moat is a must if you're going to make any investment. I don't like companies that rely on one or two customers for the bulk of their sales. That means that one bad relationship or one decision by another company could ruin this investment thesis. I don't like companies that lose money for long periods of time and will do so for the next 5 years. I don't like certain industries. I don't like companies that don't have recurring revenue. I don't like extreme levels of stock-based compensation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I made a list of all the things that I want in an investment, and I made a list of all the things I don't want. And then through trial and error and peer review and feedback from tons of people, I created a system that scores companies on a 0 to 100 point scale based on factors that I think are most appealing. Once I have a score, I then subtract points based on things that I don't want to invest in. The process is always, the system isn't perfect. It's always a work in process. It's not going to find every home run investment, but I think that going through this process is super valuable, and it greatly increases my accuracy rate so that I dramatically lower my chances of buying companies that are just going to blow up my portfolio.